Okay, I'm going to show you how to use Google Docs for presentation software. So if you log into Google Docs, right, at the usual AU site, right, and I'm going to go into Docs. Okay, so I got a whole bunch of stuff there, right? Or you might not have anything just yet, but you will. So I'll go to Create New, and then I'll select Presentation. What we're going to do as an example is a flashcard. Okay, so self-correcting task. So you know how students, you give them flashcards to work with. It's a self-correcting task because they look at the question and then they usually have to manually flip it over to look at the answer, right? So it's self-correction. They think, they process the question, they make a mental attempt at an answer, and then they verify the answer to see whether it's correct or not. So it's self-correction. So we're going to do the that task here in Google Docs in their presentation software. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to retitle this presentation. So instead of untitled presentation, I'm going to put my full name because eventually you guys are going to share this with me, and then I need to know who it belongs to. So first name, last name, and then presentation, okay? All right, so we have our first slide here. And we can just click to add. Obviously, you can resize text boxes, right? It works very much like PowerPoint. The only issue is schools are moving to this kind of format so they don't have to manage the installation and uninstallation and updating and all that stuff that goes along with the maintenance of computer use. So what we're going to do is we're going to start this slide just as a introduction slide. So I'm going to put it as Jason's flashcards. And then the subtitle down below, I'm going to put in Math 101 because we're just going to do some simple math cards. Okay, if I don't like the font size, obviously I have font control tools up here, right? So I can bold it, I can change the color on it. Wow, that's shocking. I can change the size if I want to. And I have some fonts, these are web-based fonts, okay? So these are the web-based standard fonts that, that you can switch it out to, okay? All right, when I want to insert a new slide now, okay, I can go to Slide up top here, and I can select New Slide, and it gives me several different templates to choose from, right? I'm going to go blank so I can show you how to insert some features in here. So go to blank. Then if I want to put two text boxes, so I'll have the question up here, I have some kind of line dividing the two, and then an answer down below. So I can go to Insert Text, and there's a text box that appears, right? So I can click in there, 1 times 2, and I can resize it. And again, I'm going to try to create some kind of color scheme here that functions. Okay, 1 times 2. And then I'll put in my answer, so I need another text box. Is do. And then we'll big size that. Okay. And I'm going to change the color on that. And then I'm going to put that line that we talked about in between, so insert drawing. And then I have these features up top here, right? So I have arrows, freehand drawing, polyline, etc. So I'm just going to choose a plain line, draw across. If I want to, I can change the color on it. I can change the weight on it. And then I can change beginning, ends, dashes, etc. Okay? At that point I can hit save and close. It appears in here. I hover over top, I can drag it up and down. Okay? Alright, next thing is I'm going to throw in a little gold star so the student, you know, they have a little reinforcement. I show you though that you can actually change the background and the theme. So if you change the theme, you can actually apply a theme to it. So if I wanted to apply, say, all blue, of course the readability isn't great on that, so I'm not going to really do that with the blue on blue. You have some texturized ones as well. Or I can even change the background color. I can insert an image that I can browse for, or I can change the color to one of the, it'll apply it to all slides. Okay. And I'm actually just going to change mine back to white. All right, so on comes a star. So I can hit insert, image, right? And then I can browse for an image to upload, or I can take it from an URL. The only problem is if that URL changes over time, you're not going to know where the image is anymore. So if I go to my browser and type in star or gold star, so Starbucks doesn't come up, and then I go to images for gold star, got a lot of gold stars. That one seems nice. I'll right click on that, save the image as, save it on my desktop. Then I will just close that up, and then I'm going to go back here. So then I'll go to insert, image, and I'll browse again on my desktop, and I've got a couple of stars on there, and then I'll hit OK, and the star should import, and we'll put that right there. Okay. So the last piece now is I'm going to create a little animation on here. So this appears stock with a slide, so it'll enter with the slide. If I right click on the border here, I can select incremental reveal, so that'll reveal that item next. If I go to the next one, right click, incremental reveal, you see it's numbered 1 and 2. Okay, so if I want to switch those in order, I could right click on the actual number on the clock there, and that would become 2 and the other one would become 1. Okay, or I can remove them. If I want to test this thing out now and see what it looks like, I can go to View and then Start Presentation. Then I can use these arrows to navigate, or I can use the arrows on my keyboard, and you'll see the stuff appears. So student thinks 1 times 2, 3. Oh no, it's 2. And then there's a gold star. Okay. If I hit escape, it goes back to the template that we're working on, right? After this, there's a couple of features that I want to show you. Number one is you don't have to recreate every slide. You can just duplicate the slides, right? So if we go to slide, we can go to duplicate slide, and we just can keep duplicating those. And then all you have to do is change the equations. You don't have to change the animation or anything else. Okay, so that's another thing. If you wanted to have students collaborating in this format, so sometimes you have group work that you have the students create a presentation together, but you might never be really sure of who did what work on the presentation. So if you hit File and you go to see revision history, you can go and see all the revisions that have been made. So these are made all by me, but if I have several students working on the same document, then you can look and see who's done exactly what. So if I hit revision 13 there, and it loads, come on, revision 13 load. Now let's try again. Okay, there it goes, it loaded. So then you can see this individual, which happens to be me, and what kind of revisions they did. So, you know, I know that at least I did this slide in this revision before it's saved. Students can also revert to an earlier version, which is okay if they want to go backwards in time. If not, might not be really a happy place to go to an earlier version that they don't want to be at. Okay, so that that pretty much wraps this up. From the administrative side of it, right? So it's saved, right? You can actually save it here if you've made alterations, but it also saves I think every like 30 seconds by itself or every minute by itself. After you've done your slide, what you need to do is you need to share it with me. So you hit share, and then you go to share settings. So this is how 2 students or 3 students or 4 students can collaborate on a document. Add people, okay? So you're going to add somebody, which happens to me. So you'll type my name in there, okay, and then you'll select me, and can edit is fine, and then you'll hit share, and then I'll be able to access your presentation and make sure you put in all the animation within the slides.